He would go out at sunrise, chanting, dancing to his name. Haribo, Haribo. He would wake up everyone, rise and rejoice to the name.
So welcome to our new program, sort of new. It's a Japa workshop. I was chanting Japa and I got really inspired about holding this program, which is it's for beginners or the advanced, and it's just a good way to give association for those who want to develop taste and ecstasy in chanting Japa, because it's so important. And there is an avatar for those who are new, who are watching this video and want to know where this chanting started. It didn't really start where I'm going to say it started, but about 500 years ago, there was a saint who was considered an incarnation of Krishna, who came here to simply distribute this chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Okay? Actually, in a non-religious context. He just came to say everyone who takes up this chanting and becomes committed and faithful in it will develop the highest spiritual happiness. Okay? So, and he demonstrated it himself. He just showed what it was to relish this chanting of the holy names. And he did this amongst his friends and associates who liked his message. And they developed this ecstasy also, this ecstatic chanting, this chanting. Basically, what it does is it bestows the realization upon the individual person or soul of their soul's relation with their source. This is called by many different names. Some people call it, usually are religious, they call it God. And some people that are spiritually call it God also. Some people use the name source, because often religion doesn't have such a great reputation nowadays. So they use the word source. See, we're all connected to source, or the Great Spirit in American Indians, or cosmic consciousness, or Christ consciousness. Many different ideas express it. Now, chanting very quickly evokes and awakens that relationship between our soul, individual soul, and that source. And it's awesome. There's no experience in this world that is as great as that relationship. I mean, people are looking for that relationship outside. Okay? But actually, it's inside, and chanting connects us with that. Actually, with the chanting, it becomes inside and outside. Not just, if we just have a relationship to Source outside, because the Source is outside also, but not inside, it's not complete. And that's why there will be always this longing and unfulfillment. People that are like that, they're looking outside only for completion, will always feel it lacking here. But those who find it here, like through chanting, it invokes this inner relationship, then they will see it outside. That comes along with it. And now the complete. No more hankering after something external that you have inside already. See? So get it here, and chanting is a very practical way to do that. See? Now, why chant here? Well, chanting is available. There's no initiation needed. This saint said there's no initiation needed for this chanting. Just go out and chant. See? But how many people are actually doing it who don't have the association of those who are advanced in the chanting? Advanced means you're getting taste, you're feeling ecstatic about this relationship of one's soul awakening to the realization that there's a source there, and it's very juicy and very sweet and very ecstatic, to the point it brings tears to the eyes, and one feels a joyousness in their soul. See? If you chant with people like that, this very quickly awakens in you. See? But actually, to date, there are not probably so many people on that platform, but that's where to look out for. Like one of the saints in this Vaishnava line taught, that if you chant with those who have reached the level of devotion, this devotional loving ecstasy awakening, very quickly you will develop that. See? So this is an offering for those who are really want to chant on the ecstatic platform. Okay, so this is for the new people. These are the beads you chant japa on. So chanting can be either done on these beads alone or in a group together, chant like we're going to do here, or we can sing these names, Krishna. The Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is the mantra we will use, main mantra. It purifies very quickly everything. So we can chant that on the japa beads. Hare Krishna, this is the mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Or you can sing the name. This is what a lot of devotees do, or people who want to develop this chanting meditation. They sit and sing on a harmonium or a guitar or something together in a group, which should not be neglected. It's very important. Matter of fact, this ecstasy, this devotional bliss, will awaken more quickly even in kirtan. Maybe. Could be, unless you're chanting with an ecstatic chanter. And japa can even do it. But kirtan is a good way. So both japa and this kirtan. And as one becomes more and more attracted to this chanting, one starts to develop deep intelligence, and even start to wonder, like, well, why is this? You start, little questions may pop up, like, well, why is this name so powerful to do this? What is this specialness about this name? What is it connected to? See, so another level of this is to get into what this name is related to. Is a particular personality that came here 500 years ago. His name was Krishna. See? As a matter of fact, the Indians know this science pretty well. Most of them, many of them, I can't say most, but many, understand that the incarnations of the source come here periodically, and they leave their name, and they leave a record of their qualities, which are not ordinary. They're spiritual, just like the name is spiritual. When we're chanting that name, we become in touch with with that source. It is that source, the name, the sound vibration of that name. It's very spiritual, very special. So that name is connected to qualities also. So when the Krishna came here, he left a record. People wrote down the qualities that they observed in the character of Krishna, which were transcendental to what we normally see in this world. And they're also they cause ecstasy in those who have experience and faith in these qualities. And as a matter of fact, if you hear from those who relish the transcendental nature of these qualities, very quickly you can also. Another good reason for coming here. It quickens the process. Okay? This is the only reason I'm here in this world now. Is to share this, because it's like this being Krishna or Lord Chaitanya, who was relishing the name. He was so ecstatic, and he was saying, I don't want to just be liberated alone. I don't want just to feel this myself. I want all my brothers and sisters to experience that. And that happens naturally. Anybody who finds a treasure like this and sees, wow, it's not something to hoard, it's something to share. Because it'll make everybody happy, and it's inexhaustible. This treasure is not like the limited treasures of the world. You get some gold and you think, well, gold is very rare. Let's take it, let's keep it, let's hide it, let's be miserly with it. But the treasure of this name is even more vast than this, and it's unlimited. The more you share it, the more it increases the happiness of everybody, and the more one also becomes happy. See? It's a wonderful path. And my approach, personally, is not to get into a religious thing about it. Just everybody can chant. Not a whole bunch of rules and regulations in the chanting. Just come as you are. I've always been personally a very informal person. Matter of fact, the person who started this chanting was actually an incarnation of Krishna, according to the Vaishnava disciplic teaching. And he said anybody who becomes related to Krishna through this chanting and develops this ecstasy, they can set whatever price they want on it. They can say you could follow rules and do all these things, or just come and chant, like he did. If he just told everybody, chant. Let's see, like this. So that's what's going on here, is just come and chant. You can do what you need to do, what you feel natural about in your life, but cultivate this chanting. Okay? Hear the name and chant together with us here, and sometimes we'll do some kirtan also, chanting, and share your experiences if you like. Okay? And let's all go deeper into this chanting, and I'd love to hear how happy it's making more people do this. Okay. Matter of fact, visitor, if you want, later on you can sign up. You can come on, and we'll put you on if you want. You can come on too, and we chant together. Okay, this is a lot of possibilities what we can do here. Okay. All right. So now we'll start the chanting. So the mantra chanting is simple. I might point out a few things, since this is the first workshop, and I can always tell people to, later on we'll go into the more advanced levels and just chant together. But in the beginning, we'll make this first one like we'll be talking more about it a little bit, and we'll chant a little bit. So the Hare Krishna mantra is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Say Hare Krishna. So, and then if you have some beads, you can chant on one bead. You do one full mantra, and then you go to the next bead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the next bead, and then you go to another one, and you go all the way around. That's 108 times on these beads. Okay? This is, when you ended one like this. And so it should get to the point where you like to chant and you want to chant more. Okay? So one of the teachings of this master chanter, they were talking about chanting, one of the teachings of this master chanter, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was always keep the name in your throat, whether you're chanting it loudly or softly. So whenever you think about it, just chant the name, and it clears away all obstacles. Okay, and because you start to, you start to understand through the chanting, in demonstration. Just a second here, sorry. In demonstration, the nature of the soul. The nature of the soul which is, or the nature, the true state of existence and who we are, actually. This is a question most people can't ask. If you ask them, who are we? Okay. Well, most people don't know, because you actually have to hear from somebody who's realized that, and then get this information in a disciplic succession. See who we are. Who is the source? Who is this source that people call by different names, God, cosmic consciousness? What is our relationship to that source? This confuses many people. We have to attain this actual information from Sadguru, and it also comes through chanting. Okay, so basically, this is the essence of the philosophy. I won't speak too much, but we're going to just go into the chanting soon. Okay. The basic teaching that comes through the Vaishnava disciplic line is there are three main potencies of existence. See, one is the spiritual potency, the other is the material potency, and the other is the marginal potency. So just a little short description of these three. The spiritual potency is what the name evokes, because that name is spiritual. The actual name, that sound vibration, is spiritual. See? So when a soul chants that name, one is starting to revive one's relationship with the spiritual potency. See? Now, the material potency is everything we see in this world. Everything that basically people talk about in this world. That's a material sound vibration. If it's not related to eternal truth, to this spiritual potency, it's got to have some relation. If we don't see the relation, this is what's called illusion or maya. We see that this world is standing on its own, and it's not. It's related to the spiritual potency. Okay? So this is a wonderful science, and it's simple. Okay? Now, the marginal potency is you and I, our soul, individual soul. Not we're all one thing. We're one in the sense of one potency, marginal. So we have a choice that we can meditate on this world, what we see in the world, or we can meditate on the spiritual sound vibrations called mantras. See? The name is a mantra. See? The qualities that these incarnations, these spiritual beings, the source, either they're the awakened, realized souls, or the actual source who comes here, their names and their activities and their qualities are also spiritual. Okay? So those who begin to meditate on the name and the qualities of the source, and the sources realized, who have realized the source, or realized God, or realized this relation, one becomes like that. One becomes connected to that eternal spiritual reality. See, and we're doing that very simply, just through chanting. See, very simple. This incarnation, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to teach this simple way that everybody, almost everybody, can engage in. Unless one is deaf and dumb, still, everybody pretty much can engage in this practical way to realize the spiritual nature. See, and then when we get more and more connected with that, you know what happens? Our feelings are transformed from material to spiritual. We start to feel the ecstasy of the God, the gods, the saints, the ecstasy of saints. Actually, it's a good way to look at it. These people that are in deep ecstatic, rapturous, loving communion, devotional communion with God. This is what can awaken for everybody. Everybody who comes into this workshop, if they really, really want that, really desire that, because that's really the goal here, is to awaken this loving devotional relation with God, can have it. May take a little time for some people, because some people need to trust it. Some people have deep attachments to the world, so they need to go at their own pace. Some people go very quickly. But we're all going on the train. Okay, so that's the basic essence of how to chant. So now we're going to chant the name that's spiritual. And our soul is meant to attain this spiritual nature, because that's what liberates the soul from this suffering in this world permanently. Okay? Any questions? You can put them in the chat. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay, good. We got a question here. Sachi says, why is being saved not enough? Okay. So this is the beauty of the Vaishnava teaching, because it goes beyond this consciousness or this attainment of being saved or salvation. See, there are people, those who come to this Vaishnava teaching, they may be saved already. You could be redeemed. I mean, this is my experience. I was redeemed, which happens with the awakening of this some love, and this it's like Jesus saves us for just having faith. And he even says this: people's sins will be eradicated that develop faith in his association, his teachings, his words. Okay? So, and this was a problem for me, as well as my redemption, was to experience that. But there was no further teaching about this. I didn't know how to maintain this consciousness, how to develop this love that awakens in association with a self-realized soul like Jesus. See, one who has this love of God. See, so the first level is this devotion awakens in the heart, and it clears all sins. Even before that, sins are being cleared away, and bad habits, just from being in association with a person like this. Yet, and when the mercy gets very thick, this devotion and love awakens. Okay, now one is knowing what is the truth. But in my experiences, I left the path. I didn't know, okay, well, what's next? And then I ran into some obstacles, and this devotion, this love that awoke from Jesus' association just dried up. I didn't know how to maintain it. I didn't know how to develop it. This is a little bit the reason why Jesus said, I have more to tell you, but you can't bear it yet. So then I ran into the Vaishnava teaching, which talks about devotion and how to first of all awaken this devotion, which is again the same principle. Associate with those who have realized God and have devotion awakened in their heart. They clear away many obstacles, then devotion awakes in our heart. So now you're redeemed. See, redeemed, saved. Okay. Now, where do you go next? Well, to develop that love. See, and those who are sent here to this planet, see, that's our disciplic line. They're realized souls like A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, the very rare beings, and others, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They taught how to develop this love. So you can be saved, but then you can also be dried up and fall out of it because you don't know when you run into an obstacle. You don't have any, they call shiksha, or teaching, instruction. Okay. So tell me if I go, am I still on? It looks like some problem here. See? So the Vaishnava teaching is especially suited for the advanced devotees who have this love awakened by the mercy of a Vaishnava like Jesus, because then very quickly they can develop this love, remove the obstacles, help others get over some of these obstacles, help awaken this love. And this love is a very high thing, and it's not awakened everybody. It's not even awakened many Christians yet. See? So that's the whole point of this chanting class, is to chant with those who, when they chant on the level of ecstasy, sometimes tears come to their eyes, sometimes ecstatic shivering, sometimes laughter, sometimes many symptoms come because of this level of consciousness. And whoever chants with them, very quickly they become over the obstacles, some quicker than others, and this devotion awakens. See? At a certain point, that's when the Lord starts to really give himself to us. He reveals himself. That's one of the forms of God, or this source is this devotion. It's his very confidential potency. This devotion is the most attractive potency in this whole universe. It even attracts the Lord, Krishna himself. It attracted the Lord to come as a devotee so he can experience and relish this devotion himself for himself. And that's kind of a deep thing. We can get into that later. See? He could relish the sugar. See, the source is all sugar than sweetness. See, and the devotee, we're chanting the name which is full of sugar and sweetness. But because of offenses and obstacles and everything, we don't taste it. Sometimes there's aversion. See? So, but it's sugar. And the more one chants and gets over the obstacles, one doesn't become that sugar, one just starts to taste that sugar. This is much better. Matter of fact, I read a verse in Chaitanya's time, and Sita, the wife of Advaitacharya, who was Mahavishnu, she was teaching a sannyasi who came, a liberated sannyasi, had mystic powers and but the wife of Advaita taught this sannyasi, who came to her and very humbly says, "Please teach me how I can have a form like Vishnu." He was thinking that's the greatest liberation. That's one of the liberations. Have a form like God. And she said, actually, Vaishnavas consider that abominable. To be sugar. That's like you want to be sugar. No, Vaishnava wants to taste that sugar. There's more happiness in that than being the sugar. Even Krishna, he wants to taste the sugar. Even though he's sugar, that's why he wants to take the form of a devotee. So she taught him that way. He became a pure Vaishnava. Okay, good. Thank you for asking that question. That's how. And, see, that, my opinion, this is not just based on theory. It's my personal experience. You see, this is personal experience of being with Jesus and being saved and redeemed, and also falling out of it and getting the Vaishnava teaching, and all of this stuff is experiential. That's why it's so important to meet persons. They're called experienced devotees. They're not just textbook, not just theoretical knowledge, although they have that too. But it's not, it's actual experience, going through the motions of the path, to get to where they are. So good questions. Keep it up. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So let's taste some of this sugar. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Remember to, when the mind wanders, just bring it back to hear that sound vibration. Okay? Now another thing you can do if you have real trouble doing this, put your mind on verses. Take a verse from Bhagavad Gita or some verse that you like and just let your mind linger on that and chant. I do that sometimes. That's very good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, for those who are a little more advanced in the chanting, Sri Krishna Chaitanya taught this teaching, and it's really important actually. He said the 9 processes of devotional service are inherent in the chanting of the holy name. See, all 9 processes. See, that's hearing, chanting, remembering, praying, serving the deity, surrendering. See, all of this. So when you're chanting, you're hearing Hare Krishna, hearing the name. When you're also chanting, so hearing and chanting, that's 2 processes. You're also remembering the name, that's 3 processes. And the 4th one is praying. You can start to integrate this praying, and this way you're focused. So you're hearing, you're chanting, you're remembering, and you're praying to the Lord. And you'll start to feel, naturally start surrendering yourself to the Lord. See, you practice all 9 processes in Japa or Kirtan. That's why the Lord says a magnificent way to realize the truth. He said there's really no practical way other than the chanting to really realize such a high attainment in this Kali Yuga. Okay? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so that's actually, I've talked a lot here, and I'm kind of like have to recharge on my own way here. So we're going to end the chanting workshop here. This is a good introduction. Sachi, if you want, you can watch it over again because you came a little bit late. If you want to hear some of that. So I'll be back. For the chanting workshop probably tomorrow. Maybe in the morning, we'll see. Yeah, I did talk a lot, and it's important. I'm here to help explain for people new to the chanting, or even not so new. so they need to learn. So now I can relax. I need to relax a little bit. And I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll probably do just more chanting, and maybe more things will come, whatever the Lord wants. Okay, well, thanks for coming, Sachi. I'm going back into media silence here, unless there's some emergency. If not, just like that. Okay. All right, Haribo, and thanks for coming. All glories to the chanting of this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. My sole treasure in life. Oh yeah, good. Thanks for reminding me. I'm going to do that. I needed it today. Yeah, I was feeling a little bit weak. Okay. Thanks for the reminder there. Have a good evening.